Ach, up, ach, up, ach. Oh, wang, 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 wang.
Good morning, my name is Chris Fox, and today we're talking about my plan for 2021. And we're going to take a look at, as a professional author, what do I do to approach a year? What am I getting ready? What do I look at? So I want to look today at my production schedules. This is what I'm hoping to get done this year. And I'd also like to take a look a little bit at some of the promotion that I have planned. Um, when are covers coming in, sort of some of the basics to what having an author schedule looks like. Because when you're releasing a whole bunch of books rapidly, you have to have your artwork done ahead of time. You have to have the typography done after you have the artwork, and so there's got to be lead time built for each of these things. So I really have to track them meticulously. So as of today, I want to say that I think I've done through maybe August on the schedule for next year. And I'd like to have all 12 months done, but really, as long as I have Q1 of next year done, I'm happy, and Qs 1 and 2, I feel a lot better. So we'll get a look at what that looks like when we jump into a view of my screen, which we haven't done in forever, and I can show you exactly what I am planning to do, and we'll talk about kind of why and sort of how I'm going to achieve my very grandiose goals this year. If you missed last week's video, what I'm trying to do is write 1,000,000 words, write, edit, and publish 1,000,000 words in 2021. I was able to do that in 2020, but did not document the process. And so this year, I want to document the process, and this is how I'm going to start doing that. So this first video in that series, if you will, is just going to cover sort of what I track and the things that I'm looking at and what my goals are. This is independent of my kind of year in review income video, which will most likely be the next one that you see, so it'll be next week. And then we'll start rolling into some updates on how I pursue my schedule and what my word counts are. I was very careful this time to do it as a Google Sheet instead of like an Excel spreadsheet so that I can share it. So what I'm going to do is put my sheet out there publicly and the Scrivener documents, just like I've done in previous challenges, and show you as I work through various projects kind of what I'm doing. So you'll get a very gritty look at what my production schedule is, and once we're in each individual project, you'll see sort of daily word counts and plotting, and I'll talk about questions and things that I do differently and how I edit now. So there's going to be a lot of different topics that roll out, and after some thought, I don't think putting up a I don't think putting up a challenge-style video every day is going to be beneficial, but I'm going to be releasing much more frequent content. So we're talking between 3 and 5 videos a week, because this is going to keep me accountable, and I want to make sure I talk about word counts. But I'm not going to release a video every day just to say, hey, listen, I wrote 5,000 words today and I didn't learn anything and nothing new was done. So if there are days where I don't have anything, poignant to say, I probably won't release a video, but you will see a lot more frequent videos than I have been releasing. Anyway, I'm going to jump into the second half now. Let's take a look at my screen. We will take a look at what I've got planned for the next year. It's ambitious, and we'll see if I can pull it off. Okay, so this is not an income video, but you can see ebook income for the year. And I'm only throwing this in here because I want you to look down here at consistency. So you can see here in March, I released the Magitech Chronicles Complete Series. Now, this was less powerful than it was the year before because it had already released a quadrilogy, lots of people had bought it, and so I was hitting the same audience twice. But other than that, you notice that most of my months were pretty similar. So RPG development really accelerated in May, and this is the month the RPG actually released. You can see ebook income was going down because I wasn't focused on it, but then it jumped back up. In general, ebook income has been pretty consistent when I release consistently. That is why I'm focusing so much on making sure I put books out quickly, and why the road to 1,000,000 words is important to me, because I did it last year and it was kind of disjointed and I messed up in the middle. But if I'm more focused this year, I think I can build more of a ramp where the income will go up, because I will have more time to work on that stuff. So anyway, let's start with the promotional schedule. This is what I am loosely looking at for now. This could change. But this is basically the books that I want to write over the next 12 months. So we're looking at the very first book that I'm going to start on the day that you are watching this, is Burt 2. Then we're going to roll into the Magitech Chronicles RPG Kickstarter. You'll hear a little bit about that on this channel because people do ask about it and it is a part of my work. but it's not going to be a huge part of what you're going to be seeing. Most of it will be about Bert 2 and then, of course, Bert 3, which I want to have out for Valentine's Day, which Bert would really appreciate because Bert is a very romantic little goblin. After that, I am releasing the first book I don't have to write. This is content that I generated this last year. It's always fun to put out bundles. It feels like double dipping. The Relic Hunter Box Set will be the first 3 books in my Magitech Legacy series. And you can see as we go down, I'm not going to read each of these ones. Each time I have like a book or a series that is coming out, I know I'm going to need to have the cover completed well in advance, which also allows me to work on advertising. And so I need to make sure that's been done. And I also need to make sure that promo is booked. So I have a different tab, which I'm not going to show you, which has all my promo sites and things that I use. I'm kidding. I'm totally going to show you. So what I use in my science fiction launches primarily are these new sites. So for those that don't know, both Discover Sci-Fi and Shelf Space are created by indie authors who got together and said, hey, listen, there's like 10 of us or there's 8 of us, depending on which group it was. And all of us are selling pretty well. Let's make a group that's based on this, and we'll get a whole bunch of all of our fans to sign up, and then we'll start charging other science fiction authors to advertise. It's brilliant. I love it. These two have done it very successfully and created services that I now use regularly to advertise my books. And they're both curated pretty well, so they only accept quality books, which means that the fans tend to trust them. So these are 2 of the outlets that I use. Bargain Booksy I've used going back to, I want to say, 2014. Same with eReader News Today and Robin Reads. There are more things that I haven't added here yet. This list will get a lot more complete as we get closer to promo. This is like something I jotted down in 5 minutes, mostly going from memory of places that I use. And we'll see a lot more of them. Like, oh, Sci-Fi Bridge. Sci-Fi Bridge, one of my favorite sites. Anyway, I'll keep adding more stuff here and this will get fleshed out, but I need this to be robust for the year so that I know what is currently working for me and how well it's working. So you'll see this link, and then as I run promotions, I'll start tracking what each one of them is doing for us, and you'll see that come together. And I have previous years not at my fingertips because they're spreadsheets and not saved as Google Sheets, but they're much more fleshed out and they have a lot of this stuff built. I chose this year to build from scratch because I'm doing it on Google Sheets, and it's all sort of going to be exposed to you guys. Anyway, that's a good look at sort of how the production schedule is going to go. And over time, you'll watch this evolve. These are the books that I want to write. Magitech Legacy is going to get, if not completed, probably completed, but if not completed, much closer to completion this year. Deathless will get finished. Let's see, Project Solaris will get finished, Bert will get finished. So by the end of the year, I think the only open series that I will have is maybe Magitech Legacy and Void Wraith Endgame. And then beyond that, I'm free to just work on fantasy for a while. So you're going to kind of get that view of what that looks like. A lot of stuff as we get into late spring and early summer is going to focus on how to write an epic fantasy novel and what goes into that and the myriad things you need to know and do. And I think that's going to be probably the most exciting time for me on the channel because this is the culmination of so much of what I have wanted to do since I was a little kid. And I'll have lots of news about that as we're getting closer. That'll be a challenge along with many of the challenges that if you want to write alongside, you're invited to do so. Part of why I'm going to be sharing my word counts is so that you guys can add to them. So I named my sheet Chris Fox's counts with the idea that I'm going to open this up to people, and if you want to start adding tabs yourself and also start doing counts this year, we can do it publicly, and I'm totally okay with that. Maybe I'll get lucky and a hero will emerge from the ranks that's willing to sort of curate this spreadsheet for us and make sure that all our counts are added as they should be. I'm just going to be working on mine. You're welcome to add what you want. But how that's going to look is I'm just going to do, the name of the project, the date, and my words, and you'll see this total over time grow. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because what's the point? The goal, again, is to get more consistent sales, to get to a point where I see much bigger spikes on a regular basis. I am hoping, if we go to all time, that I start seeing big spikes like I used to when I release large amounts of popular content. So in the case of box sets like the Magitech Chronicles or Void Wraith, you see we get these huge income spikes. I'm hoping that if I put together 600,000 words of epic fantasy, that if it's released fairly close together and it's really good, we'll generate something similar. So it's really my hope that in 2021 I'm able to increase my income. I did great this year. It wasn't terrible. You can see down here, the only month that was really embarrassingly bad was the month that I put out the role-playing game. So you can't see the revenue I got from the role-playing game, but it actually pushed it, way higher. So it's actually a good month for me overall. But just looking at ebooks, like you notice in general, there was that consistency. I'm going to double down on that this year, and I'm going to be much better about promoting than I was this year. 2020, I spent a lot of time focused on writing books and not on releasing them. So if you look at just this year, you can see, a lot of what I put out was bundles that were still being successful, and then of course 5,000 words per hour always does well for me every year. But Dying World, the new Magitech Legacy series, Hatchling, and some of the sequels did pretty well. So not amazingly. I mean, I didn't focus on ebooks like I should have this year. But you can see, they did pretty well. Well, my hope is if I finish up this series, and I finish up a couple of other series, and then again double down on fantasy, we will see more of a spike. I was hoping after 2019 that 2020 would be kind of a banner year and would be amazing. It wasn't. It wasn't terrible, but I don't know. I had higher hopes, and I was hoping that I'd get the role-playing game rolling earlier than I did. So it was supposed to be out by July, and it didn't really get out in book form until October. So now it's producing for me every month, but didn't as soon as I would like. Anything else I want to tell you in this initial video because it's getting rambly? No. I had Eradicator come out today. If you like science fiction and fantasy, go buy it. Yeah, that's my new series today. I'm afraid to look at the ranking because I haven't done any promotion at all. Okay, so it's 8,500 in the store right now, but I haven't started my promo yet. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for following along. I will have more information coming at you soon. It is a new year, and I do have a new plan, and you're going to get to watch that here and sort of see that I'm much more organized this year than I have been in years past. I've been very productive in years past, but I haven't been very organized, and I haven't been sort of tracking things the way that I should be. And that costs income, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen this year. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments what you need to see from future videos. Next one will probably be an income video. If not, I will get more motivational stuff on the way, and expect the word counts to roll out because today was my first day. And as of you watching this, hopefully I have my 5,000 words done. You'll get to see progress probably on Monday.